Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto Naruto Next Generation discussion on the fallout from Boruto chapter 80. And today we got to talk about that crazy reveal we got in the manga chapter where Sarada Uchiha has finally awakened her MANGEKYOU Sharingan after much debate and speculation amongst members of the community on when she would finally awaken that eye. And now that it's here, there are quite a few discussions we need to have as a community now that Sarada has shown she is one of the few Uchiha in history with the potential to awaken this eye. As we head into the time skip, the bittersweet truth of the situation is that we now know we are in a situation where Sarada has the also powerful MANGEKYOU Sharingan eye, but she no longer has anyone from the Uchiha clan to train her on how to properly use the MANGEKYOU Sharingan because Sasuke's now left the village, likely branded a rogue ninja for helping Boruto escape being killed by Konoha Shinobi, and thus Sarada is in a bit of a bind. However, not all hope is lost. There just happens to be one person left behind in the village who can take over Sarada's training to level her up to where she can do that MANGEKYOU Sharingan of hers justice. That person is the 6th Hokage and very likely the man who will step back into the position of the Hokage during the time skip, Kakashi Hatake. As a side note, after tomorrow's Sasuke Retsunden review, I'll be uploading a much needed video explaining in detail why the outrage over Sarada's MANGEKYOU Sharingan is overblown and it is not warranted at all. You do not want to miss that video. I cannot stress that enough. Now, before someone says, when will Kakashi have time to even train Sarada, I think it's important to remember that even when he inevitably takes back up the Hokage mantle, that doesn't prevent him from actually training Sarada. Hiruzen had more than enough time to train the legendary Sannin as the 3rd Hokage, and Tsunade had time to train Sakura for 2.5 years. When you actually have a competent shinobi to train, who does not need to be retaught the basics to them, like was the case with Jiraiya spending a bulk of the 2.5 years training Naruto how to do basic stuff he should have already known how to do, you don't have to hold the hands of your student while you're training. Merely giving them a task to complete, watching over for a bit, and then following up with something that challenges the student is all you have to do. Basically what Kakashi did when he trained Boruto in the anime, watching over the early portions, then taking a hands-off approach until Boruto is ready to take that next step. Longtime viewers of the channel know that one of the first videos I made here when I started Naruto Explain was a video explaining why Sarada should train under Kakashi, and now that we have the circumstances that we do, Kakashi is the only person who can get the most out of her Sharingan training now that she has a MANGEKYOU Sharingan, especially if Kakashi starts training Sarada in the way that Kakashi credited in the Kakashi Retsunden novel, where the narrator said that his power level had now risen to a point where he was far above the level of power he was at when he fought against Obito and Madara 16 years ago in the war, despite him not having the hacks of the Sharingan. The number of skills that Sarada could learn under Kakashi only comes second to the number of skills you could learn using Skillshare. This video is going to be brought to you by Skillshare. Just as Sharingan users are always upgrading themselves by copying ninjutsu with their Sharingan, you should be doing the same using Skillshare, because in 2023, traditional work and jobs aren't one size fit all, and Skillshare allows you a chance to learn new skills that can help you take a hobby and turn it into a profitable side hustle and help you learn how to design a career that fits you. No goal is too small, and with Skillshare, what might seem like a mountain to you today will feel like a molehill once you start using Skillshare. Thinking about the future can be intimidating, but Skillshare helps take the pressure off by starting small and giving you the tools to start taking that first crucial step towards your goal. For me personally, the classes on Diversify Your Income and Earn Passive Income tool stood out to me because it's something that I'm currently trying to do, but I know I'm not foolish enough to think I know it all, especially when it comes to trying to build my own website, which is something I want to have up and running by the end of this year. So for me, I'm going to be taking Mimi Chow's courses because that's something that adds real value to my goals that I want to accomplish. The same with the class on creative confidence and silencing your inner critic, which my guy Isaiah, who helps me out occasionally with editing, can tell you that's a huge problem for me because I am literally my worst critic. I cannot stress this enough. Even if you're not looking at this from a creative perspective like I am, if you're someone somebody that wants to gain new skills to help you in your current employment, Skillshare has hundreds of career-focused classes that will be of huge benefit to you. And just to get personal with you guys, at my last employment when I was running social media, they required me to learn how to use After Effects and Adobe Photoshop. I took those classes here over on Skillshare. The first 1,000 people who use my link will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. And not only that, for a limited time from now until April 30th, Skillshare is offering 40% off your first year of membership. This is hands down one deal you do not want to miss. Thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. So jumping right into it, Sarada turning to Kakashi makes a lot of sense when we consider what Ikimoto, the current illustrator for Boruto's manga, said 5 years ago, when he stated that Kakashi had a big role to play in the story coming up, and there's a reason why, despite him being so popular, he hasn't been shown in Boruto's manga. And when he stated that it would be a spoiler if he did reveal Kakashi's role, noting it was a huge spoiler, that's where we had to keep our eyes on Kakashi as a character. As we discussed in the video, who will replace Naruto as Hokage after being sealed away, the smart money, in my opinion, was on Kakashi taking that role again, but now we can add to him training Sarada as well. She needs someone who can truly let her know what she's about to get into, and there is nobody better positioned to do that than Kakashi himself. He subconsciously awakened the Mangekyo during the Third Ninja War and never realized it until he was training during the 2.5-year time skip between Naruto Part 1 and Naruto Part 2. But even he quickly realized the dangers of overusing the Mangekyo's Sharingan, because his words to the Itachi clone were a hint that he knew about the blindness that came from overusing Mangekyo. It was foreshadowing for the eventual reveal that Kakashi had the Mangekyo, and it was foreshadowing for what we learned over 170 chapters later, which is that the Mangekyo comes with blindness. Kakashi will be able to give Sarada the warning about overusing Mangekyo from his own personal experience with it, as well as from what he saw firsthand with the case of Itachi and Sasuke, Sarada's uncle and father respectively. There's a very strong chance that Sarada, upon realizing she has the Mangekyo, is likely to try training, and Kakashi is the steady hand that needs to be there in order to keep her from going too far. Figuring out what her Mangekyo's Sharingan powers each eye are, which I have a video I'm working on for this, because there is some Shinto mythology linked to Susanoo that Naruto's manga did not explore yet, that goes directly into the relationship with Sasuke and Sarada, that does have a key to what her powers might be. Then eventually getting her accustomed to the Susanoo itself be part of that training. At that point, the next phase of her training will begin, and it's already something Sarada's begun doing on her own. Sarada's approach to using the Sharingan and Mangekyo are going to have to mirror her uncle Itachi. Itachi unlocked the Mangekyo at the same age as her, 12 years old going on 13, when Sarada Uchiha died. Itachi didn't start showing signs of having eye issues with the Mangekyo until he was 18 years old in Naruto Part 1, and his eyes began to twitch after using Tsukuyomi and Amaterasu both times. We know during his time in the Akatsuki via the Akatsuki Hida novel that Itachi was using his Mangekyo sparingly because he knew of the risks that came from overusing the Mangekyo itself. Shisui unlocked the Mangekyo at the age of 7 and showed no signs of blindness for 7 years later when he died. Though to be fair, even counting the 2 Itachi light novels, we didn't see Shisui a ton in combat, but we do know he was fighting, but there were no signs of blindness based off of what we saw. Kakashi would be the best one to start training Sarada to approach combat in a manner that Shisui and Itachi did. Neither of them used Mangekyo unless it was a last resort, and both of them made it a point to end battles as quickly as possible so as to prevent any waste in chakra or eliminate the need to use the Mangekyo altogether. Mangekyo's Sharingan, it should be a trump card, not something you pull out for every single fight, which is what Sasuke did once he got the Mangekyo, which is why his eyes went blind in such a short period of time, unlike his father, unlike his brother Itachi, and unlike Shisui, who barely used their Mangekyo unless it was absolutely required. The Mangekyo has a finite amount of light to it, so as long as you're on a dummy like Sasuke or Madara and overuse that power too quickly, you'll get years of no issues if you have the Mangekyo. That means taking Sarada and focusing on changing her approach in battle. She's already shown that she's aware of her own stamina issues when using the Sharingan. The anime hammered it home more than once, especially with her training under Sasuke and Sarada. The light novels where she trained with Sasuke saw the exact same thing, where Sasuke was teaching her how to max out her Sharingan with the least amount of chakra being used. The manga had Sarada barely use the Sharingan gone from not using in the battle with Ao to cutting it on and off just long enough to read Boro's hand signs and break down his jutsu. She's already aware. The quicker and more calculated approach that she takes in battle, the better. Taking the stance that she did in the anime when she fought against Chocho in the tuning exams, that battle was realistically over after the referee said go, because after a quick exchange, Sarada overwhelmed Chocho with the lightning release lightning balls, and she let up because her emotions got in the way watching Chocho struggle, which dragged out the fight, which should have been over right then and there. If she finished that assault, Chocho would have lost. Kakashi will be able to get her to continue fighting with that level of intensity for the entire duration of a fight, looking to secure quick knockouts. There's also the benefit that he can work with her on learning jutsu like his own purple lightning and advancing her Chidori, the jutsu that Kakashi himself created. But the single most important contribution that he can make to Sarada is what I'm about to go over, and I saved this for last for a reason. The same way that Kakashi went to the ninja tech department and had them use science and data models to assist him in training, where science broke down his ninjutsu and his chakra levels and gave him a literal blueprint on gaining more power quickly and making his jutsu more powerful, which we found out in the Kakashi Hatake novel, which has not been adapted into the anime outside of a few scenes where Kakashi is with Prince Nanaru in the Sasuke Hatake episodes. Kakashi can take that same approach with Sarada, which is going to push her to level up extremely quickly as a result, from her own power to being able to make brand new jutsu that are made possible because of the research the scientific department made. To clarify, this does not mean using ninja tech. This is purely ninjutsu based, no ninja tech. The ninja tech department's research helped Kakashi make a fire release jutsu called the fire release water mist jutsu, which has Kakashi make a bird out of fire release with maximum chakra control that raises the temperature so high that they become hot enough that even the strongest water release evaporates immediately upon impact. They helped him make an earth release jutsu that heats up the chakra used for that mud wall, where it simultaneously changes a portion of the mud wall into glass to negate any lightning release that's hurled at it, which is absolutely insane in terms of the chakra control needed to heat up that chakra to that level, because you have to have sand heated up to an extremely high level just to be able to turn it into glass, let alone changing the property of a whole mud wall. It's something that the Kakashi Hatake novel says that requires the extreme amount of chakra control that was deemed to be something only theoretical, impossible to do for anyone other than Naruto, Sasuke, and Kakashi. Kakashi putting Sarada through that level of training has a lot of potential benefits to it. However, I'm curious to know how you guys feel about this. What benefit do you think Sarada gains from having Kakashi trainer? While you think that over, click here to watch my Black Clover chapter 358 review.